Let's move. Today's episode, I think we're going to try, like, it might look structurally the same as other episodes we've done, but in reality, our intent is to have this be a Michigan State season preview. A lot of people have asked us, hey, what's happening with Unscripted? For those that don't know, Unscripted was our Michigan State basketball podcast that we have done the last 2 years with the Field of 68 network. I don't know if I'm being too pointed or what, or I don't know. I'm just going to say what's happened here. We are not planning on doing Unscripted. I have not talked to Rob or Jeff about Unscripted at all. Last that I heard, they were thinking about moving away from some of the team-specific stuff, but they've started rolling out a lot of team-specific podcasts that are brand new for other teams, which are all great, including Riley Davis's North Carolina one. We're excited about that. That's awesome for everybody. We just haven't talked to him about it. I don't know if if Rob and Jeff are expecting Unscripted from us this year. They might be. I might get a text in a week like, where's your Unscripted episode? In which case I'm going to respond and be like, we're not doing Unscripted this year. Bottom line is we just would rather run that through our channel now. So it's not going to be branded the same way. It's not going to have its own Apple Podcast feed. It's not going to have any of the special stuff that Unscripted had as an isolated show. I know that might frustrate some of our Michigan State fan listeners. I apologize in advance for that, but we still fully intend on doing the same amount of time and dedication and coverage of Michigan State basketball specifically on a week-to-week basis that we did for Unscripted, but we're just going to do it on the Sleepers podcast now as part of the show. So did I encompass everything? I mean, you are the voice of Michigan State from this show. Does that cover everything?
That about covers everything, because I feel like we're going to do the same thing that we would do on Unscripted here. And trust me, there will always be plenty of Michigan State basketball talk on this podcast, unscripted or not. Honestly, it works out better because we weren't able to have as much Michigan State basketball talk on our channel because we were filtering people to Unscripted. And I think it'll be funny that even if we don't get asked, like, we might see like MSU Daily and Spiro doing the next episodes of Unscripted. So if you see that, I highly recommend coming to us first and then maybe going checking out Unscripted, or check out both, but us first.
Is this a holdout situation from you when it comes to the good people at the Field of 68?
I mean, I can hold out as long as possible, especially because it's no real incentive to hold in. So yeah.
We love those guys. They're doing great work. Obviously, if you're a college basketball fan, you should be paying close attention to everything the Field of 68 is doing. And in fact, there probably will be some sort of crossover with us in various ways. And at minimum, I will be hosting some shows on Field of 68 as usual with the After Dark series. But yeah, bottom line, Unscripted, no more with the Field of 68. Michigan State season preview right here on Sleepers Podcast. Let's get into it. The first exhibition game is tonight. I don't even know who they play. That's the lack of preparation I brought.
They play Hillsdale, the D2 Hillsdale Chargers.
Give me the Hillsdale scout. What's Hillsdale looking like?
It's a bunch of it's a bunch of Russell birds.
That scares me a little bit.
But that might not be what it actually is. I'm going off the time because I actually played Hillsdale like once or twice, like in an exhibition or scrimmage type situation at Albion. They were pretty close to there. But really good, successful Division II program in Michigan. They get a lot of guys there. And this is just me speaking on experience. Typically, they have taller, lankier, white wings who can shoot and are also athletic. So that's kind of where I'm getting the Russell Bird comp from. Like, they get a lot of guys from like Detroit Catholic Central, guys that are Michigan guys too. So it's a cool experience for them. I'm sure they're actually going to be pretty fired up to play, because I think there's probably a lot of Hillsdale basketball players who were Michigan State fans growing up, or are Michigan State fans, or Michigan kids in general. So those exhibition games, I think always carry a little bit more weight. Now, I don't think Michigan State should be worried at all about this game. It should be a game they win easily, have a lot of fun. You should see some things, it could be a fun game to see the freshmen play in when they're getting out in the open court and having fun. But there'll definitely be an incentive for this Hillsdale team to, play well, being Michigan kids.
I'm looking at their roster right now. I want to do some name reading for a second, but I also just realized a kid that tortured my team's is on this team. Charles Woodhams. He played at Otsego. I've played pickup run with him at Bronson a bunch. Killer. Kid's an absolute killer. He's a sophomore guard for this team. I don't know how much he'll see the floor, but
how many Kyles do they have on the roster?
the very first name listed on the roster, not a joke, is Kyle Gosler. Here, I just want to read some names for you. Kyle Gosler, Jack Golke, Charles Woodhams, Cole McWhinney. That's double Coles for you. Walt Mattingly, Peter Kaltoff, Ashton Janowski, Jacob Nagobi, Samuel Vasiu, Garrett Bolte, Noah Applegate, and Eric Radicevic. It's a great roster names-wise. Yeah, but shout out the Woodhams family, by the way, tormented me, like I said. Glad to see you're not see you go anymore. Yeah, Michigan State should be great. We know that. Should we do big picture stuff? I feel like let's touch on tonight's game quickly. But tonight's game doesn't really matter much. There's nothing you're going to see in tonight's game that is going to swing you anywhere off of the hype for this season, right?
No, not a chance. I know there will be overreactions if this game's close the whole game, but I don't truly think there's anything that could necessarily swing me one way or the other. Because, for example, you said you want to see Cohen Carr do more things besides dunk. This is a great team for him to do. He doesn't have to do anything but dunk because there's not a player on that team that can physically keep up with him or do other things with him. Like he will get a lot of dunks and get to the basket this game. Like this is the perfect game for that. I'm definitely more intrigued to see the exhibition game Sunday, the charity one against Tennessee. It's obviously a different level team, a lot of hype coming in with Tennessee. But there's nothing really tonight that's going to swing me one way or the other because let's look at it this way. If Xavier Booker does some things, if Cohen Carr does some things, if Jeremy Fears does some things, I'm going to be like, that's great. It's against Hillsdale. They should be doing those things. And like I said, I respect Hillsdale as a basketball program, but it's just different for Michigan State. So they should be doing those things. So I just don't necessarily think this game could swing me one way or the other because if I'm expecting these players to do certain things against Hillsdale, then it's like, there's nothing they can do to prove me right necessarily or prove me wrong. They just got to do what they do and they will.
Okay. Can I play on the fly game? Can I throw a game at you?
Mm-hmm.
I have 5 questions for you about Michigan State basketball tonight.
Did you just make these up too?
I don't even have them made up. I have 3 and I'm just going to go.
Okay.
Question number 1. Who is the first player off the bench tonight?
Carson Cooper.
Okay. Fascinating. Was that a tough decision for you, or you think that's the clear first name off the bench?
17-minute mark, you can book it that Carson Cooper will be at the table, ready to come in.
I'll take the under on set. I think like 18-20. I think Carson's running. Okay. Who checks into the game first? Jeremy Fears or Xavier Booker?
Xavier Booker does.
Ooh. Okay. Talk me through that one.
I think that Xavier Booker checks in for Malik Hall. And I think that happens before one of the guards come off.
Okay. So you think we're cycling both center and power forward?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in response to that, then, on the fly again, third question. Who comes into the game first, Xavier Booker or Cohen Carr? Because it could be Cohen at the 4, right?
It could, yeah.
Especially now that we know Jackson Kohler's not playing, because maybe they're going to push Xavier Booker to the 5.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see where Cohen Carr comes in, because from everything that I've heard from the people I talked to who've like watched some scrimmages, practices, things like that, there's no lean on whether Cohen Carr is going to come in at the 3 or the 4. Like it's been very, very split so far. So
I think he's going to play both, though, is the thing. Like,
yeah.
I don't think you even need to define him as one. I think he's just going to play. It's like Malik Hall. He's played both the 3 and the 4.
Yeah, I think the freshman bench rotation as far as who comes in first will go Xavier Booker, Cohen Carr, Jeremy Fears.
Okay, Booker before Carr. I hope that's what happens. I think Cohen Carr will be the first freshman into the game though. And
You think? Okay.
I'm a little nervous about that, but we'll see. Who leads the team in scoring tonight?
Hogard.
Not Tyson.
No, not Tyson. I think Hogard does.
He's got a message to prove.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna see some guy named Applegate in front of him and take that as disrespect.
Okay. This is not one of my questions, but it's a bonus question. Is Tyson wearing a headband tonight?
Yes.
That really swings things mentally for this team, right?
Yeah. I need Jaden to get the braids back.
Okay. I have one more question, then I have one more bonus question. Does anybody get a DNP tonight? Anybody on the roster that includes Steven Izzo and Nick Sanders? Does anyone on this roster not take off the tracksuit tonight?
No, I think everybody gets in tonight.
Every single player, except for Jackson Kohler because he's in a boot.
Yeah, I think every player that is dressed and has a uniform on gets in tonight.
Okay. I think there's one player who won't.
Garrett?
I think Garrick Norman will not play tonight because I don't believe the plan is for Garrick Norman to play at all. That's my body language. First test of my body language X. Although, if they're redshirting him, can't he play the exhibition still? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I think he can still play technically some regular season games before he burns his red. Like there's a certain threshold, but I think he can actually play a little bit before he redshirts.
Okay. So I'll stick to the prediction that he's not going to play tonight just to do it. But I want to know that even if he does play, I get to still run this prediction for like another month until it's not dead.
I'll allow it.
Final question for me, another minutes head to head. Who checks into the game first? Trey Holloman or Jeremy Fierce?
Do I have to answer this what I think it's going to be or what I
You got to
want?
be honest. You got to be honest.
Probably going to be Trey Holloman.
I'm gonna have a shot ready for the FaceTime when you and I are both watching this, realizing that Holloman's in the game and Jeremy Fierce hasn't played yet. Man, yeah, that could hurt. Okay, one more bonus question. This rotation stuff is so fun. Izzo has so many puzzle pieces to work with. Who's the first guard that checks out of the game? Is he subbing AJ out first and Fierce is running the show?
Is Jaden in this?
Jaden's in this, but I don't know if you know this card. Jaden came back to put himself on the NBA radar. Can't do that from the bench at the 3. So
Jaden will get subbed out first because he's in foul trouble.
Such garbage if that's what happens.
He's gonna get two quick fouls.
Y'all really just rope-a-dope this man into come back. We'll get you to the league just to sub him out first and never play him at the guard spot.
I said it's because foul trouble.
Okay. All right. It'll be really interesting. I think the more we're talking this through, the way he handles the guards, I think is the thing I'm most intrigued by, because even though we're saying like, oh, we want to see Booker early, or we think we're going to see Carr early, if he decided like pre-planned that we're going to cycle AJ out first, it would be Fierce who could be into the game like 3 minutes into the game, right? Like they could have a pre-planned thing of like AJ is going to come out and Fierce is going to come in at the 4-minute mark. And I think that would happen before anything happens in the front court. But I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know what I would do. Honestly, I might take Tyson out first. Just like National Player of the Year, rest him, be ready in crunch time. We don't need you at the 16-minute mark every game. I don't know.
Yeah, I respect that. Is just to flip this back on you a little bit, is there anything that can happen one way or the other to swing you on Michigan State tonight?
What do you mean swing?
Because I feel like there is. I feel like there's a way that Michigan State approaches this game that has you more in or more out on them.
So in either direction?
Yeah. So like I think that even though it's early on and it's an exhibition, I think that you might be swung based on maybe rotations or things that you see from players. Maybe more so rotations than things you see from players.
I won't say there's anything that could drastically swing this negatively for me, because I think in my head, I'm not expecting Michigan State to be like a 1 seed at the end of the year. I think they should be the preseason 4th ranked team in the country, but like like if they live up to that, great. If they don't, I don't think it's a disappointing year. I think Purdue's clearly better, and at the end of the day, this team should be like a 2 or a 3 seed. Um, I don't think there's anything I could see tonight that would move me off of that. However, the thing I am most scared about is if Xavier Booker doesn't play center at all. Like if all of Xavier Booker's minutes come at the 4, even while Jackson Kohler is not playing, then I will be very scared. Because if you're telling me like the plan from the coaching staff is 40 combined minutes of Mady Sissoko and Carson Cooper, when it really should be like 20 max, maybe less, that would really, really scare me.
Okay. All right. I like that. Last thing I want to do here, because I think we might be a genie podcast or a lamp podcast. I have this lamp right here. Rub it like, you know what I'm saying? Bring the genie out. Come out. I'll give you 3 wishes for the game tonight. I have 3 in my head that I want right now that I can already think of. So I'll go first. 3 wishes for tonight's game. I want to see at least, you know what? I won't put a minutes restriction on it, but I want to see a run where the 3 freshmen are on the floor at the same time. Like I want to see Jeremy Fears.
The 3 freshmen.
Yes. I
Not
think
the
it's more realistic.
Not the 4 freshmen.
I think it's more realistic that I see the 3 freshmen. Would I love to see 4? Absolutely. But I think 3 is more realistic in my wish here. And I want to see them get run at the same time for an extended period of time. I want to see AJ not use tonight as a chance to prove that he has a better 3-point shot. There's not a guard that is strong enough to fuck with him on Hillsdale. I've just tried to stop using the F word on this podcast. I'm so sorry, Connie. But there's not a guard that on that Hillsdale team that will require you to settle. I do not need you gunning threes. That's not what this team needs. Would I love to see an improved 3-point shot? Have I seen that in scrimmages and things like that? Yes. Does not need to be a focal point of this game. And then to take one of your wishes, it would be also, I need Xavier Booker at the 5. Because at the end of the season, I think that the best lineup with this team is Xavier Booker playing the 5. And that needs to start tonight, getting run like that. Those are my 3.
Okay. I like that. Do you want me to answer my 3 wishes from like a genuine, kind, like basketball fan perspective, or do you want me to use my 3 wishes as like a devious Michigan fan who's preying on your downfall?
Devious Michigan fan is playing on my downfall.
All right. Well, I was honestly mentally prepared for the other side of this. So let me think of this on the fly. I would love to see Mady Sissoko assert his will in this game. I would like to see Mady Sissoko for 28 plus minutes. I would like to see him on the perimeter guarding. I would like to see them running some sets, get him involved, really use him as a low post scorer. I'd like to see some added emphasis on Mady Sissoko overall as an important member of this team. I would like to see I would like to see Trey Holloman be not just the first guard off the bench, but really a staple of this rotation. I think, the benefit of Trey Holloman is that he can play the 1, 2, and the 3. Jeremy Fears, really, you're only going to play him at point guard. And it's a lot to ask a freshman, an 18-year-old kid to run the show in a Tom Izzo offense. So, I would rather them lean into Trey Holloman, maybe get him instead of like 5 minutes off the bench, get him like 20, 25, spread out across the 1, 2, and the 3, back up AJ and Tyson and Jaden. And let's bring Jeremy Fears along slowly because there's no rush here. He's got 4 years to figure this out. And then third, I'd really like to see them maybe try some oversized front court. Like everybody talks about the guards on this team, like, oh, how good are they? We play 3-point guards. We're Baylor 2.0. I think they should go the other direction, Cart. I'd like to see maybe like some Mady and Carson lineups together. I think Cohen Carr has the type of game you can slide him down, maybe play him at like the 2. So I'm envisioning something of like, Malik Hall, Cohen Carr, Mady Sissoko, Carson Cooper, and then pick a point guard. I don't know. I'll just pick a name, Trey Holloman. I think that would be a really fun lineup.
I know I said devious, but my brother in Christ.
The last one was stretching it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
I just want to see everybody stay happy and healthy.
Who was at the 3 in that lineup?
I said Cohen Carr, or I said Malik Hall, but I should have flipped that. Malik Hall at the 2, Cohen Carr at the 3.
That's insane.
A lot, man. That's a
So
lot.
also, why is there a slight feeling inside of me that we might see that?
We won't see that. If they were gonna do something like that, they would play it with Booker. But you might see like Malik Hall, Carr, Booker in a center, which would be kind of crazy.
Yeah,
But
that'd be
even
something.
that, man, that's the thing. Like I'm talking through this, even that, like in past years when I was joking about like doomsday lineups or complaining about it genuinely, it was like players that don't belong on the floor. Even if that's the lineup, like if that's the worst case lineup we can see tonight, that's a fun ass talented lineup.
Yeah, true.
Like y'all are in a really good spot. I know we all know that, but we've come so far from the Max Christie, Gay Brown teams. We really have.
I used to pray for times like this, man.
It's special stuff. Should we do anything big picture? I feel like I was gonna try to respond to your game there with another game. I feel like we're just gaming each other in circles right now. It's kind of fun. Do you want to do anything big picture on the season though? I feel like we've, I don't know, appropriately covered Hillsdale.
I would like to wait for big picture after the Tennessee game if I could.
Oh, I like that approach actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
so maybe Monday we'll save a segment for big picture stuff, with also reaction to 2 games.
Cool. All right. We'll save it. And I feel like we've done enough predictions. I was going to hit you with like a bold prediction to end the episode, but I feel like we've done enough predictions.
Michigan State minus 29.5. Do they cover?
Tonight?
Yeah, that's not the spread.
Yeah.
That's just me coming up with that.
Yes, of course. The spread would be like 49.5, I think, minimum.
Really? Okay.
It's Hillsdale, Cart.
Scrappy.
What are you scoring against Hillsdale right now?
I don't know, probably not a lot.
Honestly, you should go to this game to scout for your future men's league teammates.
Hey man, put some respect on Hillsdale's name. They got some hoopers.
I believe me, Woodham's killed me. I still have nightmares of Charlie Woodham's, man. That kid's a killer. He's
Charlie Williams might be a pro at some level.
If Pierre Brooks was still on this team, Charlie Woodham's is a better player than Pierre Brooks.
Oh, that's crazy.
It is crazy. It's not accurate at all, but I'm trying to sell some hype for the game tonight. Okay. This is fun. Michigan State's going to be really fun to talk about. I can't wait to do it all season long. And like we said, if any of our unscripted listeners or people that like sleepers from unscripted want more from us, you can expect full at least 30-minute segments talking about Michigan State on a week-to-week basis, probably more since we do this daily on the Sleepers podcast now. So hopefully you're not too disappointed that it's just going to look a little different in the way we package it this year. Go green, go white. Woof, woof. I just hope everybody plays by the rules and has a fun time tonight. And maybe let's get our video boards under control too. I know they got a nice new Jumbotron. We don't need any pregame trivia at the Brez tonight.
0. They have a chance to redeem themselves though.
Yes, they do. I hope it goes well.